Welcome to The Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're joining us today because honestly, we're going to unpack something truly fascinating. We're diving into a deeply inspiring narrative straight from the Wisdom of Hope source material, and it's all about the sheer, undeniable power of shifting our mindset. If you're someone who appreciates a clear, structured look at how a simple tweak in perspective can literally rewrite your daily reality, well, you are in the exact right place. We're going to break down this powerful fable step by step to really understand the nuts and bolts of mental resilience. Let's get right into it.
I want to hook you right off the bat with this core message. If you think about what you don't have, you will always be sad. But if you think about what you do have, you will find peace. Now, what's really interesting here is that this quote actually sets the entire foundation for our explainer today. We aren't just tossing around empty platitudes, no. We're exploring a structured, incredibly practical application of mindset. The source material presents this beautifully simple fable, showing that changing your focus doesn't just magically erase your problems, but it totally transforms how you experience and eventually overcome them.
All right, Section 1, The Village and the Worry. Life under the banyan tree.
Okay, let's dive into this contrast because honestly, it is absolutely striking. Our story kicks off in a pretty harsh, unpredictable environment. For the hardworking folks in this village, droughts and illness make sorrow a super frequent guest. The people are overworked, they're often sad, and they're constantly battling very real, very heavy struggles. But then there's this old lady. She lives alone near a giant banyan tree, and on paper, she has every reason to be just as miserable as the rest of the village. She has no kids, and her husband passed away years ago. And yet, she never complains. Not once. She just sits under her tree, chats with people, and always, always smiles. Her eyes are just full of kindness, and she stays grounded and happy even when life gets incredibly tough. Which brings us to Section 2, A Search for Guidance. Rada's Struggle.
Here we meet Radha. She's a young mother completely paralyzed by a truly terrifying situation. Her husband went off to the city for work, and she hasn't heard a single word from him. No letters, no money, her kids are hungry, and she is just entirely consumed by fear. She's caught in this awful spiral of what ifs. You know the feeling, right? What if he can't find work? What if he just forgets about us entirely? She's basically pre-living a disaster that hasn't even happened yet. But the old lady steps in with a firm, grounding counter perspective. She tells Radha, when we think bad thoughts, we feel worse. But if we think good thoughts, we feel better. And sometimes good things happen. It's almost like a direct, mathematical approach to emotional regulation. Your input directly dictates your output.
But of course, Radha fires back with the exact question I'm sure a lot of you are thinking right now. But how can I think good thoughts when everything is so bad? It's such a desperate, highly relatable question, isn't it? When your material reality, like having hungry kids, zero income, an absent partner, is objectively terrifying, how do you just magically decide to think good thoughts? It feels completely impossible. And actually, this is the perfect cliffhanger, because the old lady doesn't just brush off Radha's pain. Instead, she invites her to sit down and listen to a story.
So let's look at Section 3, The Riverman's Revelation, a story within a story. The old lady starts weaving this parable. It's cleverly designed to give Radha some emotional distance, so she can actually hear the lesson without her own panic totally blocking it out. She tells the tale of a poor man who has absolutely nothing. No food, no money, no family. Nothing. Utterly destitute, he's just sitting by a river, weeping. And when an older woman approaches and asks him why he's crying, his response is basically the ultimate expression of absolute despair. He says, I have nothing. How can I be happy? He's literally defining his entire existence solely by what is absent from it. But here's the twist. The woman in the parable doesn't hand him a bag of gold or a giant feast. Instead, she completely redirects his attention. She tells him, you have the river, you have the trees, you have the sun. Look around you. There is beauty and life everywhere. She's pointing out the incredible abundance physically surrounding him in that exact moment, completely free of charge. She explains that focusing on the lack absolutely guarantees sadness, but acknowledging the present reality of what's already there, that opens the door to peace. And slowly the man listens. He stops crying. He actually starts to see the good around him, and from that exact day, his life begins to turn around.
So the crucial point here is the incredible power of a perspective shift. As the old lady explains to Radha, the riverman's situation didn't just magically resolve itself. There were no magic wands waved. His external circumstances were exactly the same the moment he stopped crying as they were when he started. What changed was his thinking. By shifting his focus away from what was missing and toward what was present, his heart simply felt lighter. And with that lighter heart, he finally gained the mental and emotional bandwidth to actually face his problems head on.
All right, Section 4, The Power of Perspective.
putting the lesson into practice. Jumping right back to reality, Radha needs to know if this whole theory actually applies to her real, tangible problems. So she asks the old lady, "Will my thinking really change my life?" And the old lady, keeping that signature gentle smile, assures her that yes, it absolutely will for sure. But, and this is a big but, it requires action. Positive thinking, at least according to this source material, isn't just passive wishing. It's an active, daily discipline that requires 4 distinct steps. Number 1, wake up every single morning and consciously tell yourself, today will be a good day. You literally have to set the intention. Number 2, find the strength to work hard. Number 3, care for your children. And number 4, wait for your husband with hope rather than crippling anxiety. The old lady warns her, if you only focus on what might go wrong, you're just going to feel sad and weak. Hope, really, is the fuel for action.
Let's move to and see how this builds across a timeline. On day 1, Radha simply makes the decision to give it a try. She leaves the old lady's house with a noticeably lighter heart. That's the immediate payoff, right there. Then, daily, she puts those 4 steps into practice. She wakes up, declares today will be a good day, works hard, takes care of her kids, and actively prays for her husband's return instead of spiraling into total dread. And then, check this out. The external result finally catches up to the internal shift. After a few weeks of maintaining this resilient mindset, the breakthrough happens. Radha receives a letter from her husband. He found a job in the city, and he's finally sending money back home. Which leads us nicely into section 5, a village transformed, a ripple effect of optimism. As you can imagine, Radha is absolutely overjoyed, and she runs straight back to the banyan tree to share the incredible news. And her visible success didn't stay a secret for long. Pretty soon, the entire village started flocking to the old lady, sharing all their own burdens. And you know what? She gave them all the exact same powerful advice. Think good thoughts, and good will come. Let's summarize exactly why this matters for you. This mindset shift invites good things into your life. It fundamentally lightens your heart so you actually have the energy to tackle your problems. It allows you to overcome hardship by using hope as a tangible tool. Ultimately, it changes your life by first changing your thinking. It's a remarkably powerful, structural approach to building your own mental resilience.
So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to take into your day. What ifs are holding you back from seeing the river, the trees, and the sun today? What anxieties are blinding you to the abundance that is already present in your life? I challenge you to try Radha's first step tomorrow morning. Wake up, and before the worry even has a chance to set in, tell yourself, today will be a good day. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this shift in perspective brings a little more peace to your journey.